Hey, this is Allie Edwards and welcome to day 6 at December Daily. From my foundation pages, what you can see, or where I'm at right now, is I have a 12 pocket 2x2 on this side that has a 6 that's cut from one of the tags in the main kit. I've put a star in here, and I have 2 metal rimmed tags that were ones that I embossed on for my foundation pages, so something that I did back in November. The main place that I am going to be working on today is just the back of the tag that is holding my the things I'm thankful for in the little pocket here. Hopefully saw the video for that yesterday. If not, you can check that out. I want to do something super simple today, really easy. I have a busy day and some other other projects that I need to work on today. And so when I got up, I saw an email from my mom that was just a nice email kind of telling me what they were up to and what's happening for my parents right now. And so I decided that I'm just going to incorporate that onto the back of this tag, and then I'm probably going to just cut off these pockets over here and just have this little group of 4 right there for this, of little 4 pockets for a very just short, simple, sweet, still meaningful day 6. So I wanted to show you what I did. What I've done already is I just created, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. These tags, this one's a little bit shorter, but generally they measure, the one I'm using anyway, is 4 inches by 8 inches. So I created a box that was 4 by 8 inches. I did this in Illustrator. You could do it in Photoshop. You can do it in probably in Word too. And then I created a text box that I just put the text of my mom's email, including, a from and a to, on there. And this was basically my my guide, or my practice one. I like to do at least a practice printout to make sure that it's going to fit. So you can see that it's, like I said, it's a little bit taller, which is fine, and I usually kind of just check this out. This is just on regular, copy paper that I have in my laser printer. So once I knew that it fit, I went ahead and I printed one out on cardstock. I wanted to have the a thicker cardstock so you couldn't see through to the other side. So what I'm going to be doing is just gluing this onto the back of the tag with some adhesive. And I'll probably use red line tape on this, a stronger kind of adhesive that I can just put on the back and then lay this down and have it adhered. Because there's a little bit of a bend or a warp in this from the tags on the inside, I definitely want to make sure that I use an adhesive that's strong enough to be able to hold it on there. Then my plan is to take this little embellishment here, which was one that was included in the pocket originally, and I'm going to cut it in half and just add it on to the bottom. And I think that that's probably all that I'll do here. I may actually put a strip of pattern paper or something else along the bottom, but that is where I'm at right now. So I'm going to make a couple of adjustments here, and then I'll come back and show you what I've got. Okay, so as I was deciding what I wanted to do on this, I remembered that I had the screen and the paint from the main kit. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of these stars on here using the screen and kind of show you guys how to use that if you haven't used this before. My recommendation would be don't adhere this on first. If you're going to use the screen, like, do that part first and then adhere it on. But since I'm already there, I'm going to attempt, we'll see how this goes, attempt to use this screen on top of here, even though it's already kind of dimensional. So when you open up the screen, I mean, basically this is like a silk screen, right? So it is similar to a stencil, except for that it's not open. There's still fabric right there. So you're kind of painting over the top of the fabric, and we'll show you what you mean. I'm actually going to take these and I'm going to cut it. You don't need to have them together. The joy is one portion of it that you can paint onto something, and then the stars are the other one. So I'm going to just pull the backing off of here. Let's see if I can get it off. Here we go. Pull the backing off, and you should be able to see that there's something there, like it's not all the way through the stars. And where I want to do it, I think, is just right along the bottom here. So I'm laying the screen on top of there. And basically what you're going to do is you just put a little bit of paint on here. If you have this paint from the kit, I always recommend to open it first and kind of make sure that it's not going to spray out all over your project. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of paint on here, and then I'm going to take, this is just a folded piece of a heavier weight cardstock, and I'm going to drag it across there to get the paint onto those stars. So, taking my own advice, I'm just going to open it right over here. Okay, and so mine hasn't been poked yet. Usually we recommend though that you get them to room temperature if it's a recent thing that you've gotten in the mail. And even when I poke here, a lot of times, see how the paint just starts coming out. And I'm actually just gonna get that onto my project right there. Make sure you clean off this piece, and then I'm gonna clean that off too before I do that next part. Okay, so I've got the paint on top of there, and I'm just gonna take this. Again, this is just a folded piece of paper. You can use a credit card, you can use something like that. And your goal is to just get the paint where, on top of the screen where the stars are. Like, I don't want it to go around the other places probably. And I'm being a little more careful just because I've already have my tag adhered to the back. So the thicker you go, I usually do it fairly thin, but if you do it thicker, you'll have a thicker star on there. It just kind of depends on what your personal preference is. And I'm just doing a couple kind of walk through layers on here to see if I can get it a little bit thicker. Now with these screens, you're going to want to clean them immediately. And I just do that with just some water. I take it to the bathroom, a little bit of water to wash it off, make sure that it's off of both sides. Okay, so nice, just a fairly even layer on top of all those stars, and then you just pull it back up. Okay, and you can see I was able to do some texture on there just by having the paint be a little bit thicker. So anyway, that ends up being what that looks like, and you can do it with the joy, you can do it with more stars, you could do more around there. I'm just gonna leave that, in this case, a little bit on the bottom. Actually, I might do, I gotta do a little on the top too. So let's go ahead and do that while I'm right here, and then I will clean it off. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little more paint on there. And then again, just using this piece of paper, folded piece of paper, as a card to get it into the crevices of the screen. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and peel that up again. There we go. So now we have cute stars on the top and the bottom of this email from my mom. Okay, so I went ahead and I just washed it off with water and just used my fingers on both sides, and then I'm just putting it back onto the backing. There's a smooth, kind of silky side and then a plain side. I'm putting it back on the smooth, silky side so that it can be used again if I want in this project or in another project. So right now I'm just going to let this dry, let the paint dry before I put it in there. I'm still thinking about putting this along the bottom as an extra embellishment there, but I want to wait till it dries. The other thing that I did tell you that I was going to do is I'm going to take this divided page protector and I'm just going to cut it down to the one, I'll show you here, the one pocket, and I just lay it on my trimmer and I go a little bit outside the seam of the pocket there and go ahead and trim that down. Now, if you have these extra pieces, There are some things that you could do with this. I mean, 4 of these pockets are not pockets anymore, but this whole section right here, this is 4 2x2 pockets that you could trim another line right here and then have 4 usable pockets that could be added on to some other part of your project. You could cut it down to 3 so it sat right on top of a page. You can hang on to this and consider using that in something else. Excuse me, but this part over here is going to be, isn't usable anymore. Okay, I think for me for today, let's see, another thing that I can show you is just about using the fuse tool. So I think I'm going to heat that up and then I'll just show you how I close up these pockets. Okay, so I got a couple things added to the back, and basically what I did is I just used the 1-inch circle punch and punched out a couple patterns and put it on there. I don't need this to be fancy decorated. It's just going to move into whatever's on the next page in the album. And I think I'm just going to leave the back of the star just as a white star in there too. So something super simple and clean. So what I'm going to do next now is actually use the fuse tool to close these pockets. And this comes with the fuse tool, and it gives you basically a guide to be able to close up these pockets. And one thing I don't like about this is, I wonder if you could do it this way. It's hard to see, like through this thing. So maybe we're gonna just try this. I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna try it and see what happens if you do it actually on top, which is not probably how it was designed originally. But at least then I can see where my line is gonna be. Okay, so that's not a great one, but that'll work. I mean, it was a little bit off, not super straight. Let's do this one down below. Just kind of trying what happens if I probably need to leave a little bit more space from the top of the pocket there. So let's try that. Okay, so it seems pretty hot, but at least this gives you the idea of what this does, you know, in terms of closing off the pockets. So that, and another thing you can do too is you could stitch them on a sewing machine. I think I'm going to leave that star open for right now. You can stitch them on a sewing machine. That's what I've done in the past before I had one of these tools. These tools are cool if you want to make, you know, different size pockets, or on a big one as well, or, you know, you can do a variety of different things. But anyway, just an idea for you to see how you can close those things up if you're not wanting the stuff to fall out of them, and making sure that you're done with those pockets before you actually close them out as well. Okay, so let's take a look just here. I think the paint's probably dry or close enough, but then you can see I just have my little number 6 page in there. I think a lot of times when I have something like this, I add on an index tab, an Avery index tab, and I think I'm going to do that again just because I like having something that you're grabbing onto when you're turning these pages that are a little bit thinner. So I'm going to stick it in, I mean thinner in terms of the width of the whole page. I'm going to go ahead and do it right here. You can see that it has adhesive on the actual flap itself. So I usually just kind of position it in place and then go ahead and push down to have it be where I want it to be. And then I think I will stamp some kind of a sentiment on here. Let's see. I'm thinking a couple things. First, before I just stamp that sentiment, I wanted to show you, so back to this tag again, I think what I am going to do is I am going to cut this in half and adhere it on the bottom there. I'm just going to use a little piece of red line tape. So I kind of want the trees to be going the right way. I'm just going to put a little bit of red line tape on a portion of the back of this to adhere it down there, and then I'm going to use the scissors again to cut it in half like you might have seen me do in another process video earlier this month where I put the metal rim tag onto something and then cut off the bottom portion, or cut off the side. So I just kind of want it to be generally in the middle Just an extra added bit of decoration there. I used the Tim Holtz scissors the other day, so let's go ahead and we'll just do that again. So I put them on there, or adhere the tag on, and then I'm just cutting it, trimming it off, so it has just a cute little bit of something on the bottom there. And then that's just gonna go right into my album. And let's go ahead and do that. And then the last thing that I will do today is just added a stamped sentiment into, that's gonna go right here. So it's gonna go on a little piece of paper. I'll just stamp it right on there and then slide it into that pocket. I also think I'm gonna get a piece of ribbon, find a piece of ribbon, maybe something green that could go through there. And so you'll see that in the finished pictures as well. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day today. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again.